today's presentation entitled Guest Entrepreneurship Panel with EBV Graduates. Today we're coming to you live from the Friends Family EBV program at Syracuse University, where we're with the class of 2015, so welcome to all of you. Today we have brought together a group of panelists, past EBV and EBVF graduates who we hope can offer some insights this year's class into how they got their business started, how they've grown, etc. So how we're going to get started is I'm going to ask each individual to go down the line, introduce themselves, talk a little bit about their service, and then talk about their business. And if they're a spouse, talk about that as well. So Kim, we'll start off with you.
Hi, I'm Kim Bischoff. My company is The Bold Few. I do copywriting and strategic communications for other companies. If you don't know what a copywriter is, a lot of my classmates didn't. But I write marketing materials to help companies advertise themselves. So that could be anything from writing your website, to doing scripts to videos, to writing brochures. I can do any of that. My specialty is using neuroscience research, biopsychology, and psychographics to help people really hone in on their target markets. And that's what really helps them with their persuasion and help them grow their own target markets. When I was in the Army, I started out enlisted as a medic, and then I was an engineer officer. I spent just a little over 10 years total, deployed in 2002 to Iraq, and I've been out since actually 2006, so it's been a while.
And could you tell us what EBV program or EBVF program you went to as well in your introduction?
I was actually at EBV this time last year, so I was sitting right where you were last year, right?
Very good, thank you. Nicole?
I'm Nicole Mahshie. I'm married to John, and I went through the EBVF program here at Syracuse in 2014 during the blizzard. So it's nice to be back and see everything without snow on top of it. But John and I are in the Veterans Healing Fund, and I'm the administrative coordinator there. I do grant writing and email correspondence and just all kinds of those kind of tasks, and support John as he's kind of leading the ship. So.
Very good, John.
Yes, I'm John Mahshie. I served in the Air Force from 2000 to 2004. I was an aerospace ground equipment mechanic, but spent most of my time trying to get out of that as much as I could doing honor guard. So, yeah, since then I've done a variety of different businesses. I did EBV in 2013 at Syracuse University, and that was for a web development business. Went well, but my passion has always been to essentially give back. You know, this healing farm concept was something that when I first 8 years ago I told my wife about, so it's taken a long time to get to this point, but things are rapidly progressing, and the list my wife went off in terms of what she does is a lot longer than that, and I'm really just the mad scientist behind things, wearing 15 hats, probably 14 of which I'm not even qualified to wear, but it's just the nature of the game.
Thank you, Brad.
So my name is Ryan Ottosen, and I'm really taking a deep breath. So I went to EBV in 2012, spent 8 years in the Marine Corps. I was an infantry machine runner, got out, became a police officer for a year, 9/11 went down, switched my reserve status, got called back from Purdue, went back, and was part of the invasion with RCT in 2003, and then got out right after 6 months-ish, overnight, came back, and that was it. I was a police officer for a few more years, and we agreed to disagree. And then I said, well, now the first company I ever was a pool company. So I mapped some pools for a little bit. Now I got my own sort of show once, I've been for myself, and then got into real estate. My recruiter got me once, and apparently I let him get me twice. So my recruiter got me into real estate in Ottosen, which then brought me to my beautiful bride, and she wanted to move back to Southern California. So that's where we reside now. We're up private funerals. And we own an Ottosen company. It's a real estate brokerage, property management company. And over the course of the last 3 years since graduating, I've been a rabbit dog trying to figure out the best and the fastest way to house our veterans in Southern California.
Thank you. Last one.
Chris Dambach, I own industry standard funding a very long real estate company. Back in 07, I was flipping a lot of properties from here off the real estate. And flipping a lot of properties, and I got not cocky, but I was full of piss and vinegar, and I bought a 22-unit apartment complex in F-97 thinking I could change the neighborhood. And I lost my ass because I only got one property instead of one neighborhood. He said, if you say the law, you got $10,000 bills, she got to live tomorrow. So I signed up. And spent a few years in the rules there. I was about to 11. Got out 2012. Started a business and we're going into it.
As I mentioned, we're going to go ahead and run through these questions that we've developed for each of these individuals. It really gives us a little bit more insight into the business. So, Kim, let's start with you. And would you consider that your business is still fairly in the startup stage?
Yes, I actually incorporated it 12 days after I finished EBV last summer because I was just like, let's just do it before I lose all courage to do it. So it's not quite a year. I think August 14th will be my 1-year anniversary in business.
So as part of the startup phase, what have you seen personally as some of the largest challenges you've seen to date?
For me, my largest challenge has actually been marketing and selling myself because coming out of the military, all of my network is military. So I didn't come out of like a copywriting or marketing agency and have those contacts to meet other people and help me build my network. So all of my network has been, very military and now growing with the EBV. But I would say growing with the EBV has been the biggest part for me because I literally got my first paying client at NatCon last year, and he was one of the presenters. So use your EBV contacts, even if it's an industry that you didn't want in before, like I was a self-taught copywriter. It's just, you're going to go slow, but you're going to get your roots out there, and you're going to start to grow faster and faster as long as you keep getting out there.
So, building off of that, one of the things that I talked to Katie Frontino, for those of you watching Katie Frontino, the program coordinator, she really mentioned how you hit kind of community outreach and really pounding the ground to make those connections. Can you talk about maybe a little bit some of some of the challenges you faced coming from the military, kind of connecting with those connections, but how you've been using those connections to grow and grow your business?
It's actually, I think in some ways, a little easier for women because people don't automatically assume the military when I go places. I kind of have to tell them. But it's actually been really interesting. I found quite a few groups. LinkedIn is great. Don't just like LinkedIn with people. There are groups. I found a small business owners group in the Binghamton area. It's like Binghamton, Elmira, a couple other small towns, and they get together once a month just for networking. So when you go on LinkedIn, look for LinkedIn groups to actually meet people in your area instead of just, clicking and connecting with people out in the world. And then I was in Syracuse Women magazine. They needed somebody to be in her own words, and they were looking for a veteran. So they asked me to be in their magazine, and the photographer came into my class. So, it's one of those things where you never know where you're going to meet new people and start to put down roots, because I'm not from this area either. We moved here after we both got out of the Army. My husband got out of the Army. And so I'm meeting new people, I'm starting a new industry, and sometimes it feels like it's really slow. You're going to grow so slow sometimes, and you're not going to know anybody, and it's going to feel so hard. But then once you start to get, just a couple people, and then all of a sudden they know a couple people, and then they know a couple people, and suddenly you have this small network. And if you go out and go to Target, you're like, how are you? Which is like weird. But I think one of the things to keep in mind, at least for me, is you're probably going to grow slower than you wanted or slower than you expected, and that's okay. Some days I feel really discouraged because I'm like, I don't have any clients right now, and I'm falling so far behind. I'm not falling behind. This is my company. I can go at whatever pace I want. So if you're growing fast, awesome. If you're going slow, embrace it. It'll be okay. We'll keep going.
Thank you very much, and great insights there. So now we'll switch to what I like to affectionately call the power couples of EBV and EBVF. So we'll start off with Nicole. And Nicole, one of the things I wanted to ask you, you're a EBVF graduate up here, and a lot of individuals, obviously, they're here with EBV. They may not know how EBV can help their spouses or their caregivers. Can you talk a little bit about how EBV helped you?
Yeah, so when John found out about EBVF, he started mentioning it to me, and I was just really kind of resistant to the idea. We have 2 young kids, and I was going to be away from them for 2 weeks, and or not 2 full weeks, but I just kind of put it to the back burner as long as I could, and then finally he was like, listen, like you said, when we first met, he mentioned the farm, and his dream time for that, and it was something that we had started to take steps towards. And so it was kind of at this point of like, we're either really going to do this or we're not. And if we're going to do it, I need your help. Like, we're going to do it together. So, so I signed up and I came, and it was really, really, really helpful. I mean, I would not consider myself to really have an entrepreneurial spirit to be an entrepreneur. Never thought I would be pursuing something like that. And I'm not a visionary. I'm very practical. So being able to come here and kind of get some of that perspective from someone other than John, because sometimes I'm just like, oh, you're stressing me out with me thinking I don't know how this is going to end, And so to come to a place where you can hear that language and those conversations and be around people that are kind of taking those risks to pursue their dreams was really helpful. And then for me, the practical side of it was to get that training to where I did feel like, okay, we can go into this equipped and knowledgeable, and if we're going to pursue this, which feels a little bit risky, at least we're going into it like together with the same training, the same understanding, and like the resources and people around us that we can reach out to for help if we get in a sticky spot. So, it was life-changing, literally.
So let's build off that a little bit with the spouse component. I know you two are in business together, and we'll get to Ryan in a second. And some of you all may be considering going to business with your spouse. But one of the things that we always say is, your spouse, if you have one, needs to have full buy-in to this, because even though it's your business, they're going to be along for the ride. So can you talk to a little bit about what that dynamic looks like? How, if at all, you're able to separate business and family life, things like that, and we'll go to John and ask his perspective, but we'll start with you.
It's really hard. It's really, really hard. I mean, we have our 7-year anniversary in June, and part of our getaway was sitting on a park bench talking about, like, should I be going and getting a different job? Should my position be replaced? Because there's tension that arises especially when it's a newer company and things aren't like fully established yet. And so there's, we have young children, and our income isn't stable, and we're still trying to figure things out, and he's kind of my boss, and but it was kind of the same ultimatum that it took to get me to EBV as far as, like, are we going to do this or we're not? And I kind of keep coming back to that point of, like, if we're going to do this, we are going to do it together, and so we have to figure out how to make it work. We have to keep going forward, keep sitting on park benches, having these conversations, taking that time to kind of just work through some of it. And I think the longer we do it, the better and easier it gets. It's definitely easier now than it was a year ago. And there's just a lot of payoff, too. I mean, when we accomplish something together, that just really is a good thing for our relationship, So definitely, like, if I don't do something quite right well, and then there's, like, tension, so it's kind of both and, but the payoff of when you're like, okay, we're doing this together, we're working towards this goal, and then just step back and, like, look at what you've done and know that you've done it together is really rewarding.
Thank you. John, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, she definitely did a great job at summarizing it. It is challenging. I mean, the reality, though, is, it's the same thing as entrepreneurship. I mean, the reality is there's always a trade-off. And so if you work for somebody else, you have a steady paycheck. If the business fails, then, you don't really lose a lot. There's a trade-off working with your spouse. I mean, there's tremendous benefits to it. For me, honestly, I couldn't have done this without my wife. She was extremely just essential in so many different ways to making this possible. And it's taken everything we have. I mean, we've essentially doubled down, put all our resources on the line. At this point, to make this happen, it's just taken everything in us. And in terms of just some of the conflicts, I mean, marriages in general are difficult. You have two people that are coming together. Just the marriage in and of itself is challenging. Trying to work with your spouse, I mean, this is an entirely different beast. And, you know, the idea of, you know, to some degree, I am the executive director of this nonprofit. And in terms of the vision, the entrepreneurial spirit, the kind of business savvy, I mean, these are all my strengths, and Nicole has her strengths. But in terms of our interaction, I mean, in truth, if I had an employee that wasn't doing a good job, I could fire them. It'd be as simple as that. You're not meeting the expectations. That's a normal relationship, or you know, something that happens. Well, I can assure you that is not possible. So, you know, we work through things, and if you compare it like when a boyfriend and a girlfriend are, you don't like each other, you break up. You get married, you have kids. It's a lot. You know, you press through it, and you know, just for anyone that's considering it, I mean, at this point, to look at it in hindsight, I'm very glad we did it together, because it is something that, as I said before, I couldn't have done it without her help.
Great, and I'm actually going to go to Ryan, and then we'll come back to you two for a few more questions. But you want to talk a little bit about how your spouse dynamic is?
The marriage itself was difficult, and then bringing your spouse in. And when I say I couldn't have done it without her, I literally couldn't have done it without her. Meaning, my background in real estate was all traditional sales, or single-family residences, vacation homes, land, that sort of thing. The words property management didn't come out of my mouth until I met her. I mean, she's the reason we focus on it now. So that worked out well for us. But our kids both played sports. I've managed both our teams. And I took the same approach with running a business there that I did with my kids, which was I will never treat your employee in the field after your grades. Right? You're just a kid, so we used to call it the coach hat and the dad hat. And so we have different hats. And I would literally wear a different hat to the field, and then I'd put on the team hat, okay, coach hat's on. And then we'd debrief about how we did a practice, coach, and play, and then I'd put my dad hat back on and we'd drive home. And so same thing in fixing out these conversations was how does that look like for us? And then what do we do when here discussions at work? It's 5 o'clock, who's going to pick the kids up? Well, you're going to do it. Well, you don't have to do it. But so there's a lot to, I would say, I didn't realize, in fact, people flat out told us, don't do it. You're nuts. You're going to divorce, you'll crash your business. It is impossible to do. So to sit here with these guys and see them succeeding as well, it makes me feel better that we reinforced my decision to do what we did. And I'm sure that Tracy, beyond the business side of stuff, we all struggle with things, right? We do. And so, did I lean on her a little more for my own issues? Yes. Right? And so it's a very difficult dynamic, but have clear-cut lines. You have to say, okay, whether we like it or not, if we're going to go on vacation for the weekend, we're not talking about work. The parameters, we both like real estate. So she went on vacation, was driving around, living in property. Yeah, it's exactly what we do. So it is a unique dynamic. It can be done, but clearly communicate the boundaries before you go down that road.
Right, thank you. So back to John and Nicole. John, could you talk a little bit about what exactly Veterans Healing Farm is, and then go into, you had WNC prior, how it differs with a social venture or not-for-profit in your approach at managing it?
Sure. So the Veterans Healing Farm is kind of a unique concept. Our emphasis is really to cultivate community. Our focus is to create a replicatable micro-community model that can be recreated throughout the country. And right now, in terms of the location in North Carolina, this has a variety of different components to it. It's designed more as a training facility, and our emphasis right now is trying to create both the horticulture and the logistical methods and models that we can then teach others. And a lot of that is going to take place at the actual facility in North Carolina, in addition to using our website to do that as well. Just kind of a bit of a gist, we have 3 primary components. The first component is our members garden. This is something in which is kind of unique. We essentially have, this year we have 30 families involved. Half the families are civilians, half the families are veterans. There's a fee attached to it, and that fee allows the families to have vegetables from May until November. This is an extremely large amount of vegetables and essentially whatever the family would need. And the cost associated with that is the veteran family pays $100 for the season. The civilian family pays $200 for the season. As you can tell, I'm probably not getting too rich on that pricing model. But the emphasis is really to try to create a community. And so I take the responsibility of planning, prepping, putting everything in, and maintaining the crop. In terms of the harvest, that's the family's responsibility. And the cool thing is, you know, if you go to a grocery store to pick up your produce, or you do a CSA where you pick up a box from a farmer, one is it's going to cost a lot more, and the second is you're not really engaging with the vegetables and the produce, and you're not engaging with nature. In addition to that, you're not engaging in the community. And so for us, you know, we use that as an opportunity to plan potlucks, camping retreats, all sorts of different events to get people out there. Kids are running around, playing in the field, playing in the creek, stuff that we did when we were kids, but you know, these days it's just not the case. And so that's the one component. Our community farm is what we call it, our memberships. And the second component is our donation garden. The donation garden is 3 times the size of our members garden. It's quite large. Members garden, like I said, it's enough for 100 members, so it's a decent size. This is 3 times that size. All the food we raise there goes to local food pantries. It's completely free of charge, and those food pantries serve both veterans and other low-income families in the area. And the third component, right now we're working on a training facility in which we essentially bought a 40-foot container and a 20-foot container. Both have been retrofitted, and we're creating a place for 8 veterans at a time to come out. We're essentially going to teach them for 5 days on all sorts of different holistic disciplines, give them an opportunity to kind of, similar to the EBV, except the emphasis is going to be on things like mushrooms and medicinal herbs, compost, things of that nature. And in that process, we're going to also identify candidates to bring back for a 2 or 3 week training course that will be used for replication purpose, to send them back to where they're from and recreate this throughout the country. When I did my web solutions business, and mind you, prior to that, I mean, I got out of the service in 2004. That's when I launched my first business. And I did business after business after business. Each one kind of transitioned into the next, but none of them really ever ended up making a lot of money, which if you talk to entrepreneurs, you have a hobby. If that's the case, you don't have a business. But I look at it as, you know, they say fail quickly and fail often. And I agree with that. I also believe that the failure part is a lowercase, it's not uppercase. You know, Edison said, you know, as he tried to create the light bulb, he didn't fail all these times. He learned different ways not to do it. And in terms of these different businesses, it was usually me doing a job. Even with web solutions, I had some guys in India, I had different workers, but in truth, it was me in a room or me, you know, in a particular location doing a job. The Veterans Healing Farm is much different than that. You know, in this case, all of my giftings are great and they're applicable, but there are weaknesses that I have, and one of those weaknesses being managerial. I'm not good at assigning tasks to people. I'm not good at clearly communicating things, and in terms of really setting people up for success and giving them what they need to be able to perform a specific duty, it's not a strength of mine. In the way I treat myself when I screw up, I can't do that to others. You know, I'll call myself an idiot and get really angry at myself. It doesn't flow well, when, especially if it's my life. So it's a little long-winded, but is that?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. You know, the last thing I wanted to talk to you all about was, as part of EBV, you're eligible to come to the EBV National Conference, and you all competed in the pitch competition as well as Ryan last year, and you did pretty well in the pitch competition. Could you talk a little bit about that process in the sense of, you know, non-traditional funding source and what you did to prepare together, and then how you presented and how that's affected you?
Sure. I'll just share a little bit, and then you can talk about some of the score stuff. So we won first place, which was $30,000, and then we tied for the best venture helping veterans, which was another $5,000. Having $35,000 come in out of the blue, obviously we worked really hard and had hoped that we might, do something, but that was a substantial chunk of change. I think the important thing prior to that, and the thing that even made it possible for me to spin my wheels and go through this long, extended period of time to where I didn't really achieve success, but our family was able to continue forward, was a lot of what Mike Haney was talking about earlier in terms of bootstrapping. The notion for me of bootstrapping, if I could summarize it with one word, it's hustling. It's just figuring out a way to make it happen. You sweat equity, killing yourself and waking up and determining, committing that you will succeed. You'll figure out a way, you'll make it happen. You'll always anticipate and are excited about the opportunities of catching a break, but never, ever, ever count your chickens before they hatch. Never, get excited or think that, oh, this guy, he said he's going to buy this, it's going to make my life great. It doesn't always work that way. If anything, Murphy's Law proves itself true way often than catching a break. And, one of the best advices I've ever gotten, and it actually came from an EBV mentor, was earn the right. He basically said to me, that may help you, because I'm talking in this particular context, hey, if I buy this, it'll help my business. He said, that may help you. You earn the right to purchase that. You earn the right to make your life easier. And so this is where we flowed out of. It's just this sense of like, there's a lot of things that would make my life easier, and there were a lot of things that I could have done in the past that possibly could have, fast forwarded us a little bit. But in terms of really cutting our teeth, learning from other people's mistakes, connecting and linking arms with as many mentors as I could link arms with, these were all things that were part of that. And in terms of even the EBV competition, my web development business, the first year I presented at the EBV NatCon was web development. Well, pretty much I think 5 or 6 of the top winners from that year's NatCon, I got all their business. And so I developed websites for them or did social media work for them. And I had a relationship. I had, a phone call that I could pick up and I could pick their brains in terms of what worked for you guys. And I did that. And so that was a huge resource for me. And it's something that I would say you guys could pursue as well, as find out some of the previous winners and ask questions. And in addition to that, we reached out to a local SCORE chapter, which is available in most of your guys' area, I imagine. And this was a series of older businessmen that were retired and sat with us weekly and helped us do our business plan.
I will say that one of the challenges was if you have a business idea that you're really excited and passionate about, for me, writing it was hard to make it concise and to, I think we had like 60 pages or something originally, and so that was a challenge to kind of like weed out some of the things that just didn't need to be in there, to keep it to the most like streamlined and get the most important information in there.
And that's the hard part, which is why it's so imperative. You don't want to do that because it's so hard. And especially if you have people reading it and they're essentially telling you have to do that. That's one of the first things I'll say is if you have a mentor, your mentor tells you to do something, I always follow that lead blindly. But the first guy I ever had as a mentor said, you need to go get a job today. And that day I went and got a dishwashing job at 31 years of age. And my hometown would have an open dishwashing thing to where the people eating could actually see me back there. And there were people in my hometown that knew me. It was really difficult to do that. And, I'm obviously not your mentor, but I would encourage every one of you guys in terms of doing the hard work, not just giving up with the business plan. The business plan is essential, and the temptation is like, this is too hard, or I'm really, really, really passionate and excited about this. I want to just jump ahead. Don't do that. It's vital. It is so valuable. And, in terms of where we are today, we couldn't be here without putting forth that extra effort and making that happen.
Mm-hmm. And then, just last thing, we had a lot of people review it, send it out to as many people we knew that at least had some idea of business to look it over and get their advice.
And with that, the last thing is be selective who you send it to. This is very important This is your heart. This is your baby. Don't put it in the arms of somebody that is not properly equipped to do it justice. You know, I think sometimes it's like we almost want people to give us that backpack, and I get that. But in terms of, you know, putting yourself in a position, because a lot of people do not have an entrepreneurial heart or mind, and they think, well, you should just get a stable income. And they'll look at that, and they may mean well, but it's going to tear you down. And you don't need that. You need constructive criticism, not destructive criticism. So do be careful who you make that information available to.
Yeah. Thank you. And Ryan, you placed in the competition as well. Can you talk a little bit about your preparation and what went into that?
I can. So I want to piggyback on 100% agree with him. Write it, get somebody to review it, and then vote about it. So I would guide Troy, do not like, it's why I joined 1.17, even though scholarships go to college. I don't like it. So I graduated Purdue, and I said, I'm going to handle this out. I'm going to do it. And I would have never taken another tour to Iraq. It was, I remember it out, and I gave it to my mentor, and she gave me notes, and I'm changing, and I said, it's done. And threw it in a field or somewhere. And so then preparing for that time was, okay, business model could change a little bit because my version of the failure was hurry up and fail. So because you need to grow slowly, if you don't like the growth, then you have to do stuff, right? Toil the good soil and wait for it to rain. So hurry up and fail until an opportunity arises, then you're ready to enter harvest. So it came down, and I didn't know that I had to submit the business plan to pitch. If you can't tell, I'm not a favorite time, right? So I'm not just giving you back in 90 seconds and let's ride. But then I got to write a business plan. So I was going to prove my argument out, but then I got a little integrity and stuff had changed a little, so I didn't know it. So I sat back down at the table, smacked my head off it a couple times, and said, here we go again. Tried to convince my wife to do it, and she said no. Preparation, it's not a deal. I will tell you, I have never reviewed it, but they'll probably agree with this. It was probably a hot mess, which is why I didn't make it past the initial submission. But I will tell you what I did very honestly, because this is a pitch, so when I have a pitch, I'll be on the clock, you got 30, 60, 90 seconds. Go, not write the plan. And I always prided myself on being able to say, anytime, anywhere, give me a microphone of the subject, and I make it sound like I know what I'm talking about. Probably what that is when you put a time limit on it. Right, so I've never prepped, I've never made notes for anything, and you have to. When they say 90 seconds, it's not 90.1, it's 89.9, and you're adding it all over the So preparation for me was walking around the room, going over it, saying it out loud, scratching the notes, and actually reminding the pitch down, so I wanted to finish a couple seconds early, and still get some of them concise, right? You got to take 60 pages to 30, 30 pages to 60 to 90 seconds. So for me, that was the hardest. So I learned through again, because I've been traditionally like that.
Thank you. Could you talk a little bit more kind of about the real estate and property management group, because I'm sure there's some individuals that may be interested in that. And just what goes into that, what research, or, pound the ground type stuff like that.
So I will touch briefly on real estate. My background, when I went in the team, I recruited about me, and I went to real estate school, got my license, studied undergrad, did a bunch of classes there with the California Association, or Women's Liaison Association of Realtors, National Association. We do a lot of training. We're very dynamic about that. So anything you get wanted to learn in the industry, there's always a course, because they're always charging you for it, right? So they're bringing professionals and you take a course for it. Property management was big for me. I really like a several out on Tracy for that. Bringing us through now, I understood the matter. So when the market tanked, we took advantage, found investors with dollars, and that house is very cheap. And it's now the second poorest country, or second poorest city in the country. So it was a quick pitch. It was, I need X amount of dollars, X amount to fix it up, and I'll find you a tenant pay X dollars. How do you know? Well, here's the 30-year Justin did in the last 9 months. Okay, and then typically I've never seen it again, taking care of the tenants. So that was good. But the property management side of it with real estate is, you have to. You talk about not wanting to write a report, but you have to do your due diligence. You have to know where at one point in time I can tell you that I have been in every home for sale in the city of San Bernardino. Every single one. Because I don't know my market. So now as I'm branching out, I've identified a map on the infantry marine, I'm strategic. Where am I going to go? I will take my time driving around in my truck, going to every house that's for sale, showing what the neighborhood looks like. If somebody says, oh, man, you have a handyman that can come over and do this. Sometimes I will change their facet. Listen, it could have been last night too, right? But what am I doing? I'm looking at their house. Right? We talk about bootstrap. I'm now doing my own market research and I'm getting paid to do it. Break-even cost, right? Time and gas and credits, developing a relationship, future needs, that sort of stuff. So the real estate industry is unique in terms of I don't like the traditional, I shouldn't say I don't like it. I don't want to play in the traditional hamster wheel with real estate. Property management, landlords have a unique opportunity to create passive income by owning property, renting it out, and collecting income. So I was looking around these landlords who were getting wealthy, appreciation, equity, growth, income, and thinking to myself, okay, where did my market go when the market fixed itself in 2011? And I found an inventory, okay? And why do we have homeless veterans on the street? Okay? And why does the government have money to house the homeless veterans? So why does the government own vacant houses, create veterans, and create programs to pay for them, and we still have them on the street? It doesn't make any sense to me. So it's a very simplistic model that I don't have to create. And so, okay, let's go do this. We can cash flow. So some of the programs available rents are a little cheaper. In the last couple of years, they've brought them up to market rents to entice landlords to go do that. So that's really there are so many sectors in real estate you can do. For example, when I spoke with one of the students, he's a commercial guy. I don't date in the commercial world. Why? Because I'm very specific. You know, some people are selling property management, apartments, things like that, on that level. But again, if I'm going to sell something in the home, I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to record the units. I'm going to go talk to the neighbors. I don't drive a fancy car. I'm in a suit because I have respect for you guys as classmates in the program. That's why. But I'm only going to go and catch me in a pair of jeans with boots, driving a Chevy truck with one down windows and rubber floors. Not floor mats, rubber floors, right? And it's got the tailgate, paint spread on the side. But that's what I got out of the truck, and so they never know that I'm there. Because I'm the maintenance guy. So they don't know if they think I'm a cop. And that's how it is. So it's a unique industry. And when you talk about bootstrapping, I mean, that's what kept sustain us. When I wanted a couple years ago to figure out how I house veterans and what that looked like, and realize I needed to educate myself on business plus government stuff. I needed to get an education. But I have two kids. They're now 15 and 12. You know, I was still in high school then. I was still in cars. College is kicking in my door. So as much as I just wanted to go and get educated and talk to people, I just needed to sell my houses. Right? So do I find a real estate agent and have my business and only take 30%? Or suck it up and do the paperwork what I need to do and collect the full commission? So whenever I needed to go somewhere or you needed something, I would hustle, get another sale, call a past client, remind them of how well income properties are doing, and maybe it's a time to refinance and buy another one. And now I'm getting referral fees, now I'm getting commission checks coming in, now I'm supporting a lifestyle of growing that ultimate business.
That's great. And, you know, one of the things that John and Nicole have done so well is talk about making meaning through their business. I want to talk about that piece a little bit. You know, how is the social aspect kept you going on those days where you're just like, I can't do this anymore. I just want to go to the beach or I want to do whatever. How has that housing veterans really motivated you?
So I say this, I promise myself I won't cry. I actually might. You guys might know the statistics. 42 deaths a day commit suicide. The homeless, County is the largest population of homeless veterans in the street. God, if you know veterans sleeping behind Costco in the city of Purdue, because I can't get around there and open the door. What do we do? I mean, seriously, as a country, every county, we got there's so much wealth in our county, and our veterans are literally, he came and another vet came up to me and he said, what do I need to do? What can I do? I just got jumped last night and I need to wait another week to get my unit inspected. Can I go anywhere? Don't give me help me out. No, listen, we have no choices. Sometimes these veterans make bad choices to get there. Okay? But I live in what I like to call a judge-free zone. Right? I don't ever want to be judged for the stuff I do, and I'm not trying to judge them for whatever choices they make to get there. I just want to put it off. Because if we've known about the homeless population in our county for this long, and we haven't solved it, and I say I because I think it's my county. If the Secretary of the VA Government Board was flying into Lower County, and he's having a big press conference lunch with the mayor, and we're saying, hey, we are bringing a suitcase full of money to get the veterans off the street, waving a flag, standing in front of the local meeting, and I still don't have landlords kicking on the door, what are we doing? What kind of society are we when we sweep ourselves out of luck? What kind of society are we as veterans? I'm talking about a veteran society where we focus more on it was me, my first year out of Purdue, I was focused on was me, and how fast can I grow my business, and how much I was going to go do, and I was going to go around and housing veterans and forget around on the flag and I get paid. And And then I started meeting the veterans. And then I started having to go talk to them. And I understand that really, I would look at some of these guys and that was me if I didn't own a home. I got lucky I got a house before when I was a police officer, so that when I went back in the Marine Corps, had enough equity on it because it was level upswing, but another house when I got back from Iraq. And I got to tell you, this to me as I got back, if I didn't have that house, I'd guarantee I'd be on the street. And so the social aspect of it is, how do we not take care of each other? Right? I would never let a guy go by a little Marine. I wouldn't do anything for him. But honestly, I make sure the Navy and the Army and even if I was over here, because I can, right? I'm just like, hey, you guys know what I'm civilian, right? So if I had that same mentality when I was in, why does that go up the number? I mean, I can tell you I don't go up the number. I just wanted to go down after that. I just didn't want to be as a veteran anymore. Then I thought, how disgusted am I with myself? Driving around complaining about my road windows. Honestly, complaining about it. My air conditioning cooled me off, and there's vets I'm driving by on the street, and I'm making guys who don't care about the quality of their property that they're in, that they don't care about the quality of the tenant, they just want the better. How am I making those guys wealthy driving by my fellow veterans on the street? I'm disgusted with myself. So the social aspect keeps me going because I can tell you right now, if we don't do it, nobody else will.
Thank you very much. Now, for Kimberly, through level, one of our EBV serial entrepreneurs, if you will, we'll get into a few things that weren't kind of scripted, but first, I really wanted Chris to talk about contracting and how he got into that and kind of the importance of going in as a sub prior to a prime. And so we'll start with that question. What was your gateway into government contracting or contracting in general?
I'm going to bring this back. I got out in 2010, pretty much, not 2012. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. So my wife said, well, babe, when you get out of BA, become a janitor. And my parents said, use a GI Bill. Everybody else is doing it. I didn't want anything for college. I didn't want to, be a janitor. They're not knocking that. My mother would go to Home Depot and go down. I didn't want to do that either. Just wasn't fitting that when I didn't want that. So I went back to my old job. I used to do other pizzas for a little bit. So I started selling pies and delivering them just until I figured out what the hell I wanted to do. And talking to some of my brothers, I want to start a business. I don't know what. And of course, what do you want to do? So I was my rounds, and I did that in high school. So we started a military business. So I did. I started that. And overnight, we had 32 clients, residential. Started building that up. The following year, I got into commercial. And then by the age of me, I drove a beers one night, and we worked for this big corporation at the time. He goes, hey, man, you ever look at government contracts? He said, dude, I know roads. Who the hell wants me to work? Like, what? I don't build rockets, you know? He goes, look into it. So I looked into it, and probably about 3-4 weeks later, I had the first government contract. It's actually my base that I was part of. So from there, I just started bidding more locally, small organizations, small Marine Corps centers, moving on, getting the plumbing. And then I saw a large government contract in Brooklyn via Hospital. That's about 5 hours from us right now. Marines, doing training divisions. I said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go on this. And if I win it, I'm going to drive down. I'm going to go on services every 2 weeks. So I bid on it and I won it. And the price I bid at, it would have been a break even for me, which it was. So I got 2 guys here and we drive down every 2 weeks. And then my wife would pack our lunches. We'd pack up the trailer with cats, our sleeping bags. We'd go down every 2 weeks. We'd load it, we'd go out to Manhattan, we'd get saucy, we'd come back, we'd pass out, we'd get up to the river, we'd finish the job, and we'd drive back home. We got for 2 years. The hospital was so happy, with the work we were doing, because down there is a different kind of, what they're used to, a different kind of, I'm a veteran. I'm a million. I'm going to give you 110%. I know it's going to look 110%. So they were really used to dealing with that. And then they started asking us, hey, man, you guys have been planning. You want to bid on that? I'm sure, yeah. And then this National Cemetery over there, we did some good work because these guys are connected. So we started building on some bigger projects now that we had that on our resume. So yeah, it was set for 2 years, driving down, sleeping in the fume-filled trailer, breaking even. But then I want to make resumes so I can start bidding on some bigger projects. And we bid on Atlanta National Cemetery, some of you all know. $3.5 million contract. We won that one. Now I've got 14 employees down there working, all season long, trimming the headstones and the trees. And that one contract was able to afford me to put my wife on the books full time. And I can give her health care. So it all starts from hustle and hard work. Some people say, oh, dude, you're lucky. Well, I say that's bullshit. I say you create your life, through hard work. So that's how it kind of started. Residential, commercial, small government, local contracts, and then the much bigger ones. That's how I started.
So as you've grown and given the proximity to some of the larger contracts that you have and having your staff 5 hours away, how do you manage that?
I'm a local supervisor, whatever the project is. We've got 2 big ones in Kansas right now. So I've met a guy a few times. I interviewed him. If we win the project, he's going to be a local supervisor. He's going to oversee. He's going to be my housing leaders. So you got to find them up. You got to find, if you can, fill the reps, they'll really take the job. If not, you got to find, a good, mom-and-pop, family-oriented person. That's what I like.
So what's your hiring process like for that? I mean, do you have a formal process, or is it just go by gut? You meet someone and say, hey, you're going to do a good job?
Yeah, we got both. We got to that's why I think we lift our employee. One thing I do is, when I learned this from the real estate, when you get into a tenant, you have a driveway before you give the apartment away. You peek in the car. It's going to be a good indicator how to kill a life. A messy person, that's what I have. It's again, property and real estate. You look in somebody's car, you're going to wake it up what's going on over there. But it's got sloppy and mess, and the car vendors going to have time to work and all of it. I mean, think about it. It's true. We work, I'm like, truly, so what do we do? We're allowing your strengths. Like, you have something that most people don't have. Like, you have leadership skills, and you have been forced to deal with people you haven't wanted to deal with. Right? And so because of that, over the course of your military career, you've really identified with people I don't know how to deal with, and then you've got to deal with them anyways. Trust your gut. Trust your gut.
So if you have one takeaway from this, it's apparently looking people's car. The last question for Chris, and then we'll go down the line to see kind of how the EBV program support can help all these individuals. Chris, it sounds like you have multiple ventures going. How do you manage that and maintain, your core business as well as your family life?
Okay, so I also have, maybe don't quote me on this, behind every good man, something like that. So I also have my wife, who helps me out the day-to-day. She keeps the money coming in. Without her, I wouldn't be getting paid on the jobs we do. High school sweetheart, known her forever. She keeps the things running. I'm a PhD for one. Now I got the entrepreneurship development with me. So I got those 2 things that she's got to keep every day, pulling her breaks and the videos back. So she keeps it running pretty smooth. I still on the face of the company. I'm the guy in the field in the trenches with the guys, getting on staff, shaking hands. But she's on behind the curtain, pulling the levers, and making sure everything's getting done. So that's, she plays the biggest part of that, making things run smooth. Family time, weekends, pretty much turn the phone off. If it's a deal that I got to miss out on, I really got to miss out on it. Family time, my kids are young, 4-month-old, 4-year-old. 10 years, I mean, I don't want to regret anymore. I couldn't make it to the softball game, or I couldn't make it to the swim meet, whatever it is. I don't want to be there for tomorrow. So we got to have family time. We got to learn to flip the switch, unplug. It's big, it's important.
Great. So, the last portion of this that we'll do before we open it up for the question and answer period is really quick, 1 or 2 bullet points. How have the EBV follow-on TAP program helped you all, or how has it? You all are within one final day of the program, and you'll be going your separate ways. And we always really encourage you to use those resources that AJ and Katie and team has gone out to help secure. So, Kim, we'll start off with you. Let's say, 40 seconds, 2 points, and then we'll go right down the line.
Okay, I used TAP. I got my logo designed. I applied for my trademark for the name of my business, which I highly recommend everyone does, because it's like $325 to file with the government instead of paying a lawyer $3,000 because they have a lawyer that helps you out and does it. And then I also got a mentor through the mentorship program, which has been awesome. I didn't get someone who was a small business owner. I needed someone in the marketing industry. So literally within 24 hours, they found me a mentor, and he's the vice president of marketing for MasterCard. So it's go for it.
Yeah, when I got back from EBVF, we got our logo and incorporated, and it was just, it made it easy. Just, you come here, you have an idea, you get the training, and then it made it easy to continue once I left. I had incentive to really get the ball rolling, and I think just getting that logo and then being able to make business cards, and you're just, you're taking those like really initial steps of like making this an official thing that you're pursuing. So.
Yeah, it's been invaluable. When I first went, obviously it was for the WNC Web Solutions, not the Healing Farm, but I think I had the mentor through the corporate, I forget what that's called, but then in addition to that I had 2 or 3 more mentors through the TAP program. Multiple mentors, from my perspective, is awesome. Obviously it's a little bit more time, but depending on the skill set, I had each individual kind of had their specialty or expertise, and it was extremely helpful having these guys kind of speak into my life in that regard. In addition to that, in terms of just the whole gamut of resources that EBV provides, as I said before, prior to going through this program, I was on my own. I was a solo ranger trying to figure it out, having very, very few resources, and doing the best I can. Well, in this situation, you guys aren't in that position. You have a whole army behind you, and so it's not just a one-man kind of in a trench somewhere, but whatever you need, you call these guys up, and they'll bend over backwards to try to provide you the resources you need to succeed. And for me, I felt like one of the most valuable things about that was the fact that up until then it was a sense of just I know this is in me. It's like I had a song that I knew I could sing. It's just everything around me was like an obstacle. And when I went through this program, those resources, it was almost as if like they were not there to be my friend. They were not there to hold my hand. They were not there to. They were there to cover my back. They were there. It was like this training right now. We're training you and we're equipping you. Now go prove yourself. Go do something. And whatever you need, when you find yourself in the battle zone, and call us and we'll drop bombs. And whatever those tools are that you need. Like she said, the logos, you name it. The pamphlet goes through all sorts of different resources. So just go through it, figure out what it is that you could utilize, and they'll make that happen. And it's very valuable.
We're going to use the program. I was a guy who said, yeah, sure, we will want to get. So I didn't use it because we're from the top. So I didn't and he replied back. So for me, that's an indicator. If you didn't reply back in a week, I better reply back within 6 hours. Very huge. I used the logo. Now, it's not my ultimate logo, but it was a good start when I gave it to somebody else because there were some limitations and I'm sort of reading. So it wasn't what I thought it was my own. So I used the logo program. I was not going to put it without that. And in fact, we were having discussions about it, and I leveraged the TAP program for a local company to do the work at the price that EBV was offering. So leverage it. Using Power, I will tell you, I didn't use them enough. So abuse it. I think Jonathan and I, we are cocky in the Marine Corps because as a Marine Corps infantry, we know the entire United States Marine Corps behind us. That makes us feel pretty good. You should know now, but now only we have the entire, within what the EBV program is. It's Syracuse, it's Florida State, it's Purdue, right? We're up. So there's all kinds of universities. I live in Southern California, UCLA, right 30 minutes from my house. So we have an entire army of individuals who are smarter than us combined, who have to see nothing but for you to succeed. Abuse the system.
If I can add to, I call music my business spirit animal. If he tells me to do something, I just do it.
Yes. I appreciate it.
me for months to get my business plan done. He's like, you can get this grant. I'm like, no, I can't. I did my business plan, I got the grant. So just everybody else is doing it.
Yes.
Chris?
Yeah, TAP program is great. I also want to say, do you guys know what the TAP program is? Did they tell you if you took the class already?
Yes.
Okay. You get a little pamphlet and you graduate your TAP program inside. So all this free shit you get. So I've known all this free stuff. You get 40 hours of free attorney counsel. The biggest attorney firm in America, right? Okay, one of the biggest attorney firms in America. That's pretty cool. But if you guys haven't done that, set up the Facebook page for the class. Okay, I'm going to join it because even what's better in the TAP program is the person to the left and right. Because you guys might have used a legal company outside of the TAP program that you have built up with and they're giving you a discount or you can use for your web page. So do that. Get a Facebook page going. I'm still on mine. I graduated in July 2015 EBV class here. And we already got the notes now. What do you think? Give me honest feedback. 7 seconds. Use the mentor. I used mine. I don't even know what Accenture was. Apparently it's a pretty big company. She had no idea about real estate and she elevated me for 12 months. She was phenomenal. So use the mentor.
Just real quick, the Google Hangouts, if you can do it, that's awesome. And in addition to that, I mean, the TAP program is what you guys are offering. But in terms of just the EBV family, the NatCon coming out to NatCon is awesome. And you guys are all part of the family, and you'll get essentially a directory of all the different EBV graduates. And these folks that are in this program are incredibly gifted individuals. And making yourself vulnerable, putting yourself out there. I think as military guys, and I misspoke, I said they're not here to be your friends. What I mean by that is like, we're here to take care of business. This is not easy. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be always fun. It's challenging. And so that's the part that I'm getting at. But in terms of, really being a part of something that each person wants each other to succeed. Military guys, it's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to ask for help. It's hard to put ourselves in those positions. The thing is, in terms of business, every person that's successful in business caught a break. They all have to catch a break, and it's part of the game. And so I would just encourage you guys to take advantage of these resources.
Thank you very much for sharing. So now what we're going to do is we'll open up to you all for questions. How we'll do this again, you can ask it to the general group or a specific individual. Before we answer, just give me a chance to repeat the question so those individuals watching online can go ahead and hear that. So does anyone have a question they'd like to ask?
I do right, sir. Or John and Nicole. I saw how the attitude was. That's what I'm experiencing right now with my wife. Good thing to have. Good thing to have. I'm transparent. My wife quit me 3 times within the business. And all 3 times I'm glad she quit. All right, but I know how hard it is. I've loved my wife for 22 years. I just know how hard it is to have your wife and work in the same business. So before and after you joined Nicole, you joined the EBV program, how successful was it when you came back to your husband with the knowledge you attained here?
It's a little bit hard to answer in the sense that we had started to move forward towards the fund, but we really weren't full on doing it yet. So we didn't really start to pursue it until after I'd gone to the EBV, and I have been helping them with this website design business, but only for a couple of months. Before that, I had been working another job. But I think as far as just the biggest difference that it made was just really helping me to get on board, helping me to understand what the life of an entrepreneur looks like, what that road is like, instead of just feeling like, why are you making these decisions, and why is it a risk taker, and why is it, why does it have to be this way, like, it helped me, like, coming here, it's like, well, that's just how it is, like, it's a hard journey, it's a hard road, and, you hope that in the end you're going to meet that goal that you've set for yourself, that whether it's a certain lifestyle or, a certain impact that you want to have, whatever it is that you're reaching towards. So I don't know if that answers your question, but...
And especially, John, I like your attitude as far as sitting on bed. I'm going to go ahead and take that home with me. Because it's hard. It's really hard. And sometimes I think we need, because you got to separate the family and the business, but more importantly, you're still that union, and you don't want the business to break that union up. So I'm going to take that bench thing. I think that's going to work for me.
One other thing is, if you look at just entrepreneurial kind of survey, I might be off on this, I'm pretty sure I got it right, but the dude that started Tesla, Elon Musk, he got divorced and remarried to the same lady 4 times. I had an opportunity at an event to speak to probably one of the most successful men in our country in terms of business, and I asked him this very question, and in truth, I mean, his response was essentially, you can't do both. It's very difficult, and from his perspective, the work-life balance, as most people do it, you're either going to be successful and you're going to commit to your business, or you're not. And obviously, that was a little bit out of balance, and the goal is to be in balance. We don't want to sacrifice our families, our children, for money, for success, for the ability to go help a bunch of other people, but who do we have to start helping first? It's our children, right? And so I wanted to say, in terms of that, it's been very difficult. As far as the EBV program, I think the biggest thing for Nicole is that she did grow up in a very risk-adverse family. It was never really modeled for her. And so by coming into an environment with different individuals that they were wired that way, if nothing else, I think the biggest thing we got out of it is that she realized that I wasn't crazy. I wasn't crazy in a lot of ways, but in terms of this particular thing, it's it's just the nature of the game. So that helped bring things into perspective.
Last thing I'll say real quick is, every situation is different. So there might be a space to bring somebody else on board if that's really not working. And in some of those past ventures, I was working full time. I wasn't really involved in those other things. But this one particular thing was so close to both of our hearts, and it was like I couldn't really not be working on it with him. So.
You have a question, also too. I want to thank all of y'all for sharing your story. Your story really touched me because of the fact that I was on the opposite of your situation. My relationship with my wife ended up in a divorce because of you. But one of the reasons was because of the fact that once I got out of the military, and then once I got laid off, I just went full throttle into my business. We had a business for a while, and it was just like do or die. I understand the kids there, but look, I need to work. I need to stay busy because, being in the military, working shift work, 24-hour missions, that was just how I was wired. And I kind of isolated the family. And so during that time, I took a lot of things for granted, and I couldn't understand why she was trying to position herself between me and working. It wasn't about the money. It was just about staying busy. But, as I started to move on through the journey of the divorce process, I went to therapy and I started to learn a lot about myself. But it was too late at that time. But the one thing I can say is that no matter how hard it gets, I regret it now, but I didn't have the tools at the time. But just, make sure you surround yourself around entrepreneurs that have, a great marital relationship and can do business and separate the business from, their personal life. Like you were saying earlier, cut the phone off. Many times I was like, no, I have to have it. There's nothing to do. So I want to thank y'all for sharing your story because, like I said, I'm looking now and saying, man, I made a lot of mistakes in the past, but I would recommend, going in business with a partner because that's your loyal partner. Some of my business partners, especially when my marriage started going bad, they would just backstab. She kept telling me, even when we were having problems, you need to rethink some things. You need to take a step back. But, just that drive to not fail. And ultimately, I did fail. So y'all have a wonderful story.
Thank you.
Let me respond on this very briefly. Some of that is for us going into businesses is husband and wife. So keep these 4 things in this order. Your faith, your family, your fitness, and the finances will follow. And I've managed my son's little league team for 7 years, and I've never missed a game. I've managed my wife's volleyball games, I've never missed a game. I show up at open houses, I show up, and I do the things that other business owner dads think I'm an idiot. But I refuse to sacrifice dollars for my kids' souls. I refuse. So you're spot on.
I'll add to that with too, saying that eventually we got into similar counseling. That was huge for us, a huge resource for us. We've been through counseling. That was really, really helpful. And I think one of the biggest things we got out of that was learning how to work as a team, and that us being a team, whether it's in business or just in raising our kids or in life in general, like we've got to be on board with one another. And so, yeah.
I think a personal identity issue is like finding your identity in the success of this business. We live in a culture in which is so prone to you either fail or you pass. You go to take your exam, you failed or you passed. Trying to be an entrepreneur is like a kid trying to ride a bike. To expect that kid to figure it out on the first go is silly. And in our culture, if somebody goes off to try to start a venture, if they fail, everybody's quick to say, well, obviously it didn't work. But maybe one more time. After the second time, you go to a third or fourth or fifth time of trying to make these things work. It's very easy for folks to kind of, start to be just naysayers and unsupportive. And but then in addition to that, in terms of your family, the often temptation, at least I think this is very likely, is that as the individual trying to succeed, it says, well, if I don't have that in the way, that's what's keeping me from succeeding. So now I start to put that on the back burner. Because, my wife, she wants more money, and I could give her more money, I just would have less time. And finding that balance is the hard part, but not allowing yourself to find your identity in the fact that you either failed or you succeeded, or in the business venture itself, the success of the business is who I am as an individual. No, I'm an individual, and it takes humility, it takes grace, it takes a sense of just steadfastness and really persevering in the midst of adversity.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm sorry, I got your name. Yes. For your business, are you virtual or do you just do local?
I'm virtual. My whole business lives online. I decided that I'm not ready to say, Oviedo, New York is the end all be all for me, so I wanted to be location independent. And as I grow, even when I start to hire people, I want to be able to hire people anywhere in the world with talent rather than tying them to a certain geographical area. So I plan on working it virtually essentially the entire time I own the business.
My concierge service for office coaching and speaker, so I'd like to send it to you.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Any other questions? Okay, so what we'll do quickly is similar to how we did, how to utilize EBV resources. Let's just do about 30 seconds each on kind of parting words of wisdom as the class of 2015 moves forward with pursuing their current ventures, or maybe a new venture that came through the SA program. So Kim, we'll start with you.
I guess my words of wisdom from personal experience, some days are going to be great, and some days you're going to feel like I shouldn't be allowed to fold towels without supervision because I'm not getting anything right now. So you're just going to have these highs and lows. If you're just having a crappy day, sometimes just call time on the day and say, you know what, I'm going to go out in the sunshine. Tomorrow's a new day. So don't get so wrapped up in the business that you never let yourself relax, because it's those moments when you relax that the answer's going to come to you. So don't be too hard on yourselves.
Well, I'd say just take moments to remember why you're doing what you're doing, why you're pursuing your venture. And for me, we want community, we want to be able to eat healthy, I want my kids to grow up running around outside. There's always reasons. So it's really hard, and there's so much to do, and I'm stressed and overwhelmed. Like, I have to go back to that place of like, okay, why am I doing this? What am I working towards? Is it worth it? Yes, it is. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, for me, I would just say that in terms of being an entrepreneur, if after this course you guys realize that it's not for you, it's totally kosher. I would say, as even for the people running the program, that's okay. This was obviously an interest, and so you went into this course, with that question. And at the end of the program, if the answer is no, that's not a bad thing. I mean, honestly, there's often days where I wake up and I'm like, Lord, why did you create my brain to function this way? I just wish I could wake up and just be plain John that eats the same oatmeal and no creative idea and no that. Oftentimes it feels like a curse, but this is who I am. And if it's who you are to be an entrepreneur, then you're going to succeed. You will succeed. Somehow, someway, you will succeed. But in terms of if you're not an entrepreneur and this course is helpful in realizing that, that's a good thing, and you shouldn't feel bad about that. And I don't think any person that is a part of the foundation of this program would judge you or think anything less of you if that's the outcome of this curriculum.
As long as the best yes is good enough.
That's it.
So I'll tell you this. Doing well. When I'm recruiting landlords to open up their doors to veterans, most of them want to know the story. Tell me the what story. How did we get here? And Mike was touching on it earlier. He said, don't be afraid to tell your story. I have guilt of doing this, that I am selling out my local values. I have guilt that I'm selling out my veteran status. And it took me a while to let that go. So when I said doing it and doing it well, don't try to create an identity. Remember who you are. Meaning, who you are as an individual, but if you come out of any organization, what do I identify you as? The rest of the greatest the country has to offer. Right? You as a United States military veteran are the best and the brightest this country ever has. You are willing to put yourself, whether you're ever with the combat or not, you have an opportunity, you said, about it's not your decision whether or not the commander-in-chief says go, but you put yourself in a position, right, to go in the harm's way for something way greater than yourself. That has shaped you, that has changed you, that has molded you, that is going to bring intangible things that other people can't have and will never understand. Don't shy away from it. Don't run from it. Don't isolate it. Don't pretend it didn't happen. Lean on those strengths and do you. It doesn't matter what your business is. Going to this course doesn't mean you have to be a millionaire. Define your success. It's not all about ours. My success is my lights are on, my kids are fed, my kids are happy, and the demos are coming in, and eventually we're building a nice base, so when the kids move on and they need more resources and middle age, we're going to be able to provide more income. So do you, and do what? Be proud of your veteran heritage. But it's you have earned the right to be a veteran. You've earned the right to be a successful veteran business owner, so don't shy away from it. Be humble, because that's what we do. I mean, you couldn't be a veteran without being humble. You couldn't serve the country. Now you're going to go out and you're going to serve the citizens once more. They're not going to get you. You're going to feel frustrated a little bit. Don't be afraid to do you and do you well. Thank you very much. Yes. You guys are going to go home and hit the wall. You guys are like hit that EBV, right? Try to speak when you get home, thank your friends and family. Oh, you wasn't. Well, it was awesome. It was awesome. And the best set is, you're not going to hit the wall. Right? You're not going to be paying your bills as fast as you will. At least for me, that's what happened. That's normal. Chill out. Get a mentor, like everyone up here on first step. Get a mentor, and then they'll tell you, first step, do this, next step, do this. Okay, then you start moving forward. But then when you hit that wall, it's normal. Yeah.
Okay, so before we wrap up, let's first off give a round of applause.
Sharing your experience with us. And I'm sure as we go back home trying to do our business, we think about a lot of what you guys said here today. So we have some, it's just a little gift for you guys here. Thank you.